Road to the final cards are available, and all of us want to invest in some of these cards, want to trade with these cards so that we can make coins from them. And in this video I'm going to be talking to you about exactly that, when's going to be the lowest point to pick up these cards, and also how you can actually trade and invest in these cards, which ones do look like the best look. So first of all, before we get into the video, if you are new here, make sure that you do subscribe. I'm going to be making lots more videos just like this one, also talking to you about trading and investing, how to make coins, and also about the market, when it's going to go up, when it's going to go down, so you definitely don't want to miss them. So going straight into the video now. Road to the final cards are very good for investing with the amount of hype around them. They're pretty much like one to watch cards. They're just 2-3 times better than that because there is just so much hype around them, and the price that they are going to increase is going to be a lot more, and also suddenly the prices that they are going to decrease from other reasons because there's a bit of confusion about them does make them very good for trading. So I'm going to explain what that pretty much means. But first of all, there are two things that you can do with these road to the final cards to make coins. So the first one is actually investing, and the fundamentals to understand in investing is that you should bet on one of these teams to make it far into the Champions League and try and buy for as cheap as possible when you are going to invest, so at the lowest point possible. That is the first thing. That is just pretty much investing, and that is kind of like medium long term. You're going to be keeping this card for longer than a week, ideally a month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on how good your investment is going to be. And there might be some gaps in between where you can see that it has gone high because of some sudden hype that you can sell and then buy again later, but that is a bit more advanced. You don't have to worry about that too much if you don't really understand it right now. But the second method is flipping. So flipping can be a road to the final card that goes down for a while because of something that happens in real life. So for example, he gets injured or plays bad, which is actually irrelevant. That actually doesn't affect it because this is not like a one to watch card. This is actually a team effort. So if the whole team actually makes it to the next round, for example, makes it into the knockout stage, then that card will actually upgrade. It doesn't matter about his performance, but like I did mention at the start of the video, there is a lot of confusion about these cards. Some people don't fully understand how they are working, so you can also profit off that. So if the card does go down because the player does get injured or plays bad, like I just said, and they do go down, then you can actually go ahead and pick them up because they will obviously be going back up when people realize that that is actually irrelevant and it's all about how the team is playing. So that is pretty much the two different ways of making coins from these road to the final cards. So investing and flipping. Investing is a bit longer term, holding them on for a few weeks or for a month, and flipping can be done maybe in a few days or maximum around a week or two. So looking at now when the lowest point for these road to the final cards is going to be, when it's going to be the best time to pick them up for those investments. So it should actually be when there's going to be less hype around them. We do actually have the international break coming up, so that should hopefully bring down these prices because there's going to be less hype around Champions League and also about regular league football. So this should actually help it, and I do think to expect over the weekend that there is actually going to be, these players should decrease possibly Monday, Tuesday, if you take a look at them, what prices they are going to be. And towards the later on, if you wait too late, for example next week, the week after that, they're no longer going to be in supply. And also Champions League is going to be coming up, the first upgrade for the teams that are going to make it out of the group stage to the knockout. So I think now is definitely going to be this week. Sometime this week you are going to have to buy if you are seriously interested in investing, because right now when there is still supply is when you want to be looking at these cards and looking at which cards you should actually be buying. It is hard to say. You kind of need to make your own personal choice. Like I did mention, if you are going to be for the investing route, then you do need to look at who do you think is actually going to make it down further down in the Champions League. But I would say higher tier road to the final players, there's too much hype around some. For example, Mane, Son, Kante, I think possibly Ousmane Dembele. I think there's too much hype around them. They're extremely expensive. Do not really go for them. If you do have the coins, I would avoid that. Maybe go for some of the cheaper cards. It's definitely a good look to actually go for some of the lower tier cards that are low priced at the moment, and when they do get upgraded, then they will have to go up in price because they are so cheap right now. So those are going to be kind of like under 100,000 coins, those sort of ones that you can see. But if you are interested in some kind of like middle ones, just kind of like in between the high tier and the lower tier, that is kind of like the high tier is too expensive to invest in, I would recommend players like Koeman, Mahrez, Eder Militao. There is still, of course, they are known. I think Eder Militao, there is more hype, but Koeman and Mahrez, I think they are both from clubs that can definitely make it far in the Champions League. It's kind of unpredictable, you're not too sure, but they should definitely make it far, like a decent amount, and they should get a decent amount of upgrades. And if taking a look at their price right now, if they do get a +2, +3 upgrade, they will have to go up in price, so those could be some potential investments there as well. But definitely take a look and decide, investments or flipping, what's going to be best for you. Flipping, you do kind of have to wait for a card to go down in a specific scenario, and it's all about being quick in the situation and also realizing that he isn't actually going to stay low, he's actually going to go back up in price. And also with the investing, I always recommend in this sort of situations where a lot of people are trying to make quick coins and trying to get in on it, I would go for kind of like low-key investments. I think Koeman and Mahrez can be very good investments if you find some other ones as well. Maybe people that the ones that people aren't really looking at, the ones that are extremely hype about them, you can clearly see who they are: Mane, Son, Kante. Avoid those and go for kind of like the cheaper ones that people aren't realizing are actually hidden gems. So if you guys do need any other help, definitely comment down below. You can also DM me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll try my best to get back to you. I really appreciate all of their support recently. It's just been absolutely insane. The numbers just keep going higher and higher that I could never expect, and I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to get back to as many of you as possible. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.